Greetings from Christian News and Interviews. So, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about Caleb Duberry. I have discussed so many horrible cases that I didn't think anything would at this point be able to shock my conscience. But this one got to me. And I think it's because this guy was so wicked. Even though he knew this little 6-year-old girl, had interacted with her, had conversations with her, probably played with her, he was able to bring himself to stab that child in the face. I'll never understand it. I mean, it's the type of thing to haunt your dreams. And so, what I wanted to talk about tonight, though, is how does someone even end up dating somebody like this? You know, one of the things I like about church and why people need to get back to church. In church, they actually teach you, in a good church, what to look for in a mate. Let's start here. This is a beautiful little girl. We need to put a face with this. This is the beautiful little girl that Caleb Duberry was able to look at as he stabbed her in her beautiful, beautiful face. Don't you know that that's demon possession? I believe he was demon possessed. That's the only explanation of how you can look at this beautiful face and do this child harm. So a couple of things I saw that I'd like to share. Of course, this is the mother, and this is the child when she was younger. The mother's name is Gabrielle. The child's name is Rosara. After killing them, this punk barricaded himself and even told his mother what he had done. So he admitted to his mother that he had murdered this innocent child and that woman. Okay? But this is what I wanted to share with you all. Listen to this. Gabrielle, that's his ex-girlfriend, had added him to the lease. Now listen to this. She had an apartment where she was, I believe, enjoying life with her daughter. The two of them could have just stayed together in that apartment. But for reasons unknown, listen, she added him, meaning Caleb, to her lease on the Monticello Avenue apartment a few months back. Let's pause there. Because at this point, I'm talking to young ladies and older ladies too about what to look for and not to look for in a mate. I've been happily married for 17 years. Never had an argument with my husband. So I think I know what to look for. You don't look for a man who has to get on your lease. Where was his lease? Why couldn't she get on his lease? Better yet, how about not living with the man that you're not married to? How's that? You know the old saying, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? I'm not complaining about this young lady because she's gone. She can't hear me. Gabriel can't hear me. I'm talking to those who are alive. The dead can't hear me. So for those of you who are alive, Gabriel had added him to the lease on her apartment a few months back. Red flag number one. Don't add some bum to your lease. What kind of job did this jailbird have? Now we know what kind of job she had. Gabriel worked from home for a law firm and was in school studying pharmacy. She wanted to be a doctor someday, her sister said. On the contrary, Duberry, that would be Caleb, the murderer, had numerous, now listen to this, Duberry had numerous arrests for gun possession, robbery, assault, and I'm sure some other things. Let's discuss that for a second. Gabrielle worked for a law firm and was in school studying pharmacy. Her desire and her goal was to be a doctor someday. This Duberry character, on the other hand, had numerous, look at the contrast now. She's in school to become a pharmacist or a doctor, and she allowed on her lease what? Onto her lease, she allowed a man with numerous arrests. Now, this is a woman who has a child. He could have been a rapist. He could have been a pedophile. She allowed this dangerous man numerous arrests, gun possession, robberies. And whenever you rob somebody with a weapon such as a gun. Assaults. This is the kind of character that she allowed into her home, onto her lease, with her keys, around this innocent, beautiful little girl. Now, there's not much on social media regarding this Caleb character, but I found this on LinkedIn, and I'm assuming that this is him. It might not be, but I'm guessing because it's Caleb Duberry, stock worker at Jacoby Medical Center. Now, again, there could be a different Caleb Duberry, and if it is, I apologize. But assuming that it's him, I don't believe this guy had a job, but at some point in his life, this jailbird worked as a stock worker. Do you know what stock workers do? They load various materials and stock into cabinets, closets, shelves. Can you explain to me why a woman, beautiful woman with a beautiful child, in pharmacy school, why she would lower herself to someone with the ambition to be arrested, to hold on to guns, to run around robbing people, and to be a stock clerk. Make it make sense. And for those who are saying, why are you bad-mouthing this woman? I'm not bad-mouthing this woman. You can't, she's not here. She can't hear me. I'm talking to those who can hear me. I'm talking about some red flags, ladies. If you're upwardly mobile, you don't lower yourself to a bum. This bum was not her problem. She made him her problem, but he was not her problem. Now look at this. Look at this. Do you see these two things right here on the side of his face? Do you know what those are? Those are a symbol that this man, at some point in his life, and probably up until the time he died, was a member of a gang. Here's another red flag, young ladies. If a man has a tattoo on his face, if a man has teardrops on his face, if a man has a gun on his face, I've seen tattoos of guns, I've seen tattoos of knives, I've seen tattoos of people's names. If a man has a tattoo anywhere on his face, run in the opposite direction. Don't give him your telephone number, for God's sake, and don't let him know where you live. Tattoos on the face are a no-no, ladies. I'm telling you how to stay alive. This man has 1, 2 teardrops on his face. Now, the teardrops have a variety of meanings, and the meanings have changed over time, but in some cases, the teardrops represent bodies. Those teardrops could represent the fact that he's killed 2 people. Are you listening? These teardrops could represent that he has killed 2 people. Remember, he's back and forth in jail. I don't usually talk about people, but this is an ugly character. This guy is straight up, everything about him is ugly. His personality is ugly. He's made himself even uglier with these tattoos on his face. This weirdness up on his forehead. I don't know if that's a tattoo or if that's just bumps. But this is a funny looking, doofus looking. Look at these lips. Look like he has on lipstick. This is a funny looking character. He should never have gotten her anybody's phone number. What woman wants to lay up with this? Yuck. So let me end by saying this. You are better off by yourself than ending up with a man with tattoos on his face, a criminal record a mile long, numerous. Do you know what numerous means? It means a whole lot of arrests for gun possession. This is not what you bring around your children. And if you respect yourself, what kind of conversation do you think you're going to have with someone whose life is based on robbery, assaults, possessions of guns, and apparently a love of knives, because he even killed his own self with a knife? Stabbed himself in the chest numerous times. The man was demon possessed. Love yourselves enough to make a determination that even if you have to stay single for the rest of your life, you'd rather be single and at peace with your children safe than with a bum who robs people, assaults people, carries guns around, loves knives, and has numerous arrests. And on top of that, tattoos on his face. Come on, ladies. You can do better than that. And so I'm going to end this now. I think I've made my point very clear. Love yourself enough not to get hooked up with a piece of trash. Stay tuned.